The best way to build a sports team today is through the draft. Of course, a few trades here and there will help out too. But some teams try to do the quick fix method. They throw boatloads of money at superstar free agents and think these guys will instantly transform them into a championship contender. Spoiler alert, most of these lucrative free agent signings wind up being regretful ones. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we present the 10 worst free agent signings of the past 10 years, 2008 to 18.
At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video.
But first, a few honorable mentions. Brad Richards. The Rangers gave Richards a 9-year, $60 million contract in the 2011 season. He had a mere 151 points in 210 NHL games over a 3-year span. The Rangers bought Richards out in the 2014 season. Melvin Upton Jr. The Atlanta Braves gave the flashy center fielder a 5-year contract worth $75.25 million in the winter of 2012. Upton spent just 2 years in Atlanta, batting a pathetic .198 with a .593 OPS. Simply awful. Timofey Mozgov. He was a bench player on the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers NBA championship team. That was enough for Mozgov to land a 4-year, $64 million contract in the Los Angeles Lakers. He spent 1 season with the Lakers and was dealt to the Brooklyn Nets in the 2017 offseason. How desperate were the Lakers to get rid of him? They also included young stud D'Angelo Russell in the deal, just to get out of Mozgov's contract. Carl Crawford. The Boston Red Sox gave the star outfielder a 7-year deal worth $142 million in the 2010 offseason. He had a mediocre 2011 campaign and was packaged to the LA Dodgers at the 2012 trade deadline. Boston somehow got out of that albatross contract. They owe the Dodgers a huge thanks, to say the least. Now to the real list. Number 10, DeMarco Murray. The Dallas Cowboys star led the NFL with 1,845 rushing yards in the 2014 season, winning the Offensive Player of the Year award. Murray set himself up nicely for a huge contract in 2015 free agency, something the Cowboys weren't willing to give him. The NFC East rival Philadelphia Eagles pounced on the chance to steal a star from the Cowboys, so they gave Murray a 5-year contract worth $42 million. The hope was, with Sam Bradford and Murray now leading the Philly offense, the Eagles would return to the postseason in 2015. Murray was terrible in Philadelphia, averaging just 3.6 yards per carry. He finished with 702 yards and 6 touchdowns. In the offseason, the Eagles dealt Murray and a 4th-round pick to the Tennessee Titans for their 4th-round selection. Not the best move in the Eagles' history, but believe it or not the worst either. Number 9, Chandler Parsons. After averaging double-digit points per game in 4 straight seasons, Dallas Mavericks small forward Chandler Parsons was ready for a pretty nice payday. But the Memphis Grizzlies decided to make it an overly generous payday. In the 2014 offseason, Parsons was awarded a 4-year contract worth $94 million from the Grizzlies. That's borderline superstar money, and Parsons was never that type of player. Knee injuries limited Parsons in just his first 2 seasons in Memphis, and he appeared in just 70 games over that span. And no, he's averaged about 7 points per game since joining the Grizzlies. Not exactly worth $94 million to put up bench player numbers, but good on Parsons for securing his future from a financial standpoint. Number 8, Wade Redden. Ottawa Senators defenseman Wade Redden was among the league's top offensive rear guards in the 2000s. Redden was usually good for 40-plus points a season, so he entered 2008 free agency as one of the most sought-after players. The Rangers handed Redden a 6-year contract worth $39 million a year after throwing money at free agency busts Scott Gomez and Chris Drury. But Redden only spent 2 seasons with the Rangers, totaling a mere 40 points over that span. The Rangers buried Redden's contract in the minors and then bought him out before the 2012-13 season began. According to our calculations, $39 million for 40 points isn't very good. Number 7, Pablo Sandoval. Panda was an instrumental part of the San Francisco Giants dynasty that produced World Series championships in 2010, 12, and 14. The 2-time All-Star priced himself out of San Fran in the 2014 offseason, however, and joined the Boston Red Sox on a 5-year deal worth $90 million. Sandoval had a miserable first year in Boston, putting together his worst season as a hitter in 6 years. He missed almost all of 2016 after undergoing knee surgery. Sandoval had just 6 at-bats, not worth $90 million. Sandoval lost weight entering the 2017 season and looked ready to regain his old form, but he couldn't do it, and the Red Sox released him in the summer. So, for $90 million, the Red Sox got 136 hits from Sandoval, along with 101 strikeouts and a .237 batting average. Not exactly money well spent if you ask us. Number 6, Brock Osweiler. The Brock Nest Monster started 7 games for the Denver Broncos in 2015. He totaled 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He did okay replacing an injured Peyton Manning for half a season, but Osweiler's play wasn't anything flashy. The Houston Texans were desperate for a quarterback, though, so they handed Osweiler a 4-year contract worth $72 million in the 2016 offseason. Quarterback problems resolved, right? Wrong. Osweiler only threw for 2,957 yards and 15 touchdowns against 16 interceptions in his lone season with the Texans. But because they had an elite defense and strong running game, the Texans went 9-7 to win the AFC South Division. Osweiler was horrible in their AFC divisional round loss to the New England Patriots, and that was the last straw. Realizing their giant mistake, the Texans dealt Osweiler and 2 draft picks to the Cleveland Browns. That included a second-rounder in 2018. They were that desperate to get rid of him and his gross contract. At least the Texans got Deshaun Watson in the 2017 draft, and he's helped the fans quickly forget about that whole Osweiler debacle. Number 5, Josh Hamilton. He was a 5-time All-Star and 2010 American League MVP. Josh Hamilton led the Texas Rangers to AL pennants in 2010 and 11. So what risk was there for the LA Angels when they gave Hamilton a 5-year contract worth $125 million in the 2012 offseason? It seemed like a double whammy of a move. Get a superstar slugger to complement Mike Trout and Albert Pujols, and steal Hamilton away from the arch-rival Rangers. It was perfect, or at least on paper it was. But Hamilton was a big-time flop in LA. He played just 2 seasons there and totaled 31 homers and a mere .255 batting average. The Angels cut their losses and sent Hamilton back to Texas in a trade during the early stages of the 2015 season. Number 4, Nnamdi Asomugha. If not Darrelle Revis, Nnamdi Asomugha was the NFL's best cornerback during his days with the Oakland Raiders. Asomugha was a 3-time Pro Bowler who shut down half the field on his own. He entered the 2011 offseason as the most coveted free agent on the market. Despite heavy pushes from the Dallas Cowboys and New York Jets, Asomugha decided to join the Philadelphia Eagles. The price tag? 5 years, $60 million. What could possibly go wrong? Backup QB Vince Young called the Eagles the dream team. Sure, if Asomugha lived up to that contract, then maybe they would win a Super Bowl. But Asomugha struggled in Philadelphia's defensive schemes and never fit in. He went from shutdown corner to just your average Joe, an expensive one at that. The Eagles were terrible in Asomugha's 2 years there, so no, Vince Young, they were not a dream team you thought they'd be. The Eagles released Asomugha after the 2012 season. Yes, I have a horrible cold. It's coming back. Just drugging myself. Now it's worrying. The Eagles released Asomugha after the 2012 season, finally ridding themselves of the worst free agent signing in their history. Number 3, Joakim Noah. The New York Knicks acquired Chicago Bulls point guard and former MVP Derrick Rose in a 2016 offseason trade. They continued the facelift by signing Rose's Chicago teammate, defensive stalwart Joakim Noah, to a 4-year contract worth $72 million. The contract looked terrible on paper, given Noah's limited production offensively and the fact that he missed most of the 2015-16 offseason with a shoulder injury. And lo and behold, Noah's contract was indeed a disaster. Noah appeared in just 46 games during 2016-17 due to a knee injury and a 20-game suspension for violating the NBA's anti-drug policy. The following season, Noah was sent to the G League and played just 7 games for the Knicks. Again, very little production from his end. The Knicks bought out Noah in October 2018, adding him to the list of their many failed free agent signings. Number 2, Ilya Bryzgalov. How bad did the Philadelphia Eagles want a franchise goalie? Enough that they traded top stars Jeff Carter and Mike Richardson in the 2011 offseason so they could clear salary cap space and sign a reliable netminder. The Flyers signed Coyotes goalie Ilya Bryzgalov to a 9-year contract worth $51 million, believing he'd be the final piece in their quest to compete for a Stanley Cup championship. Bryzgalov played just 2 seasons with the Flyers, compiling an awful .905 save percentage and putrid 2.60 goals against average. Philadelphia used a compliance buyout on Bryzgalov after the 2012-13 season. But hey, he got $51 million to not stop very many pucks and lead them to just 1 playoff series win. It was a good deal for him at least. And number 1, Albert Haynesworth. A 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans, Albert Haynesworth became a very rich man in the 2009 offseason. The Redskins handed Haynesworth a 7-year contract worth $100 million. Now, Haynesworth was a big-time playmaker on the defense, but this wasn't a guy who was worthy of that much money. The Redskins took the risk anyway, and they wound up paying a huge price for it. Haynesworth got lazy and was often seen not trying very hard on defense. He clashed with coaches, failed a fitness test, and complained about Washington's defensive schemes. He was suspended for the final weeks of the 2010 season for bad behavior and a refusal to cooperate with his team. The Redskins traded Haynesworth to the New England Patriots in the 2011 offseason. But even Bill Belichick couldn't save him. Haynesworth had a brief stop in Tampa Bay and was out of the NFL by 2012. From $100 million man to out of the NFL in a 3-year span. You can't make this stuff up. Who do you think are the 10 worst free agent signings of the past 10 years? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.